Hi, Gloria Lybecker here with Healing You. Have you ever found yourself just really thriving in your life and making progress and really enjoying what you do, how you show up in the world? You like being who you are. And then maybe you come into a relationship with another or a group of others, and how you've been showing up, it feels like it gets stuck, that you're not being heard or recognized for what you're bringing to the relationship. And what's it like when you feel stuck? What's it like for you when your intention is not connected with, is not even seen? What's it like for you when someone looks at you but doesn't see your heart? It can be painful. And how do you be with that pain, that problem of not being recognized for who you are? And maybe as you sit with that pain and you allow yourself to really tune in to the frequencies that are running deep inside, it's possible that maybe you'll start to tap into a shadow. It may be a shadow that you weren't even conscious was running in you, what you didn't even know was there. And as you take the time to be with it, you really get clear just how dark that shadow is deep inside. And sitting with that, you can sense maybe there's been a part of you that has been buried so deep for so long that it's become so dark and so still, it's immobilized. And just touching that shadow, just on the edges of it, is enough for it to begin to awaken. That can feel a lot of different ways for a lot of different people. Some of us will shrink away from that. Avoid it at all costs. This is not a place that we're even going to venture. We do our best to turn it off, bury it again. We don't like it. We don't want to be near it. We don't want to be known that we even have this deep inside. And so we may have made a vow to ourselves. It might be a vow like, I solemnly swear to my essential self that I'll accept that I have no choice. And as a consequence, I will turn inward and I'll disconnect from my feelings and from my knowing in order to survive the shame and the humiliation of not being of value, of not being recognized for who I truly am. And maybe to stop me from being torn asunder by my own internal stress and horror and my rage, and also the loathing and disgust and betrayal that I feel inside, no matter the cost to myself or those I love. I want to just call a pause with that possibility of that being the experience of a younger self that saw no choice when being in this relationship where they were not known and they had no voice. It's possible that you attempted to say no, that you did your best to set a boundary, and it was just run right over the top of. And you got the message that that's not allowed. So there's something here. There's something here in that stuckness. It's through our feelings. It's through the sensations of our body that we can find our power, and we can receive our body's wisdom to receive the gift that the shadow actually holds for us. Because when we bring the light into the shadow, we're able to see the contrast. We're actually able to have more clarity with more precision, and that's empowering. When we can recognize that it makes sense that this experience conditioned us to believe something that's not true. And when we can name that, when we can have a container, a place where it's safe to show up honestly, we get really honest with ourselves and we name our inner experience, and it's met with tenderness and care, exquisite gentleness, and yet it's firm, it's holding you with warmth, compassion, and understanding. You discover you make sense. You no longer need to be buried deep down in the shadows of darkness. There's a softening that can happen. The shoulders can drop, and the breath can come in deep to your belly, and your face begins to soften as you come back to life in a new way, receiving the gift of this part that had been immobilized for so long. And so when you move through this process with a unconscious contract and it's released, then you get to receive the blessing. When the essential self or the other that was in that contract is invoked and able to be named and actually hear with the heart the vow made in innocence that was actually an attempt to protect self, then the being that comes is able to bless the younger self with gifts that empower them as they move forward in life. So being able to be given the gift in this contract is for the essential self to say, yes, I heard the vow and I do not like it. And yet it makes so much sense. I release you from this vow and I revoke this contract and I bestow upon you my blessing instead. Oh, I give you my blessing to know your value is immense, and to know that from inside of your soul. I give you the strength to speak with compassion and conviction, strongly rooted and grounded in your values, with congruency. And I bless you with the ability to speak eloquently with grace and compassion, yet firm and clear with precision. For you to stay present and engaged in perceived difficult conversations, especially ones that carry the energy of intimidation or devaluing. You shine anyway. And so it is. So just noticing what it's like to move from that shadow, that dark contraction, to finding a way to bridge that gap through a deep healing process of being rooted in your self-connection with self-compassion. There's a softening. There's self-acceptance just awaiting. So if you resonate with this, or you've had this experience, I invite you to begin the practice of slowing down and coming into your heart, noticing your breath, and bringing in a gentleness, a warm, soft eye gaze to meet you right where you are. And if you'd like accompaniment with that, I invite you to reach out to me at healingyoursanctuary.com. I'd love to talk with you about your next steps. Thanks for being on the journey with me today. Healing you.